This is now Rocket Shop Radio Hour on WOMMLP Burlington 105.9 FM, The Radiator, and I'm your host, Abby BK, filling in for Tom Proctor tonight. And tonight on Rocket Shop, we have Bim, Tyler, and friends, I guess. Everybody, how are you doing?
Good.
Great.
Good. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, of course. We usually like to kick it off with a song, so what have you got for us?
Yeah, we've got a song called Horses. Goes like this.
Just like horses run so quick through the night, I want you badly to be at my side until the sun is coming upward. All the hours that leave us to die, the ocean that licks away the earth with its tide. All of my emptiness is leaving. Well, I've tried my best to leave it all alone. My hands and my knees worn down to the bone. You have led me here, don't leave me all alone. I will walk atop that mountain, I will lay upon that stone. Earth is shaking, there's thunder in the sky. All of the children below asking why. Medieval maidens in their flowers, sinful creatures we are by and by. What was it said about a night for a night? Now that our world is turning blindly, well, I've tried my best to leave it all alone. My hands and my knees worn down to the bone. You have led me here, don't leave me all alone. I will walk atop that mountain, I will lay upon that stone. On that mountain where I took my stand, ghostly apparitions take me by the hand. Oh, the universe is never ending.
All right, that was Horses by Bim Tyler. And so, just so everybody kind of knows, how about we just go around and say what your name is and what instrument you're playing tonight?
My name's Adam Shea, and I'm playing bass.
Awesome.
And I'm Ro Williams, and right now I've got a mandolin, and I'm also going to play a little harmonica and my guitar a little bit later, and sing.
And I am representing Bim Tyler, and I'm playing guitars, and I'm singing, and I'm writing.
And my name is Liam Gundlach, and I'm playing an accordion.
Perfect. So, what exactly is the story? I know we kind of said briefly before even starting the show that we have a fifth grade teacher in here relation. So, how did everybody meet? How did everybody become a band?
Well, we learned all of these songs, last week?
Yeah.
Yeah. And,
Wow.
Well, I
I was going to say, Tyler and I have been doing some duo gigs and this summer, and so we've been doing some of these songs as part of that. So
That's
I
right.
got a little bit longer than a week in on them.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So
yeah. So, and most of us have all played together in some capacity over the years. So, Adam and I were in a band that was like more of like some kind of progressive jam band.
it was just a degenerate party.
Yeah. And then Ro and I have played in old time music. So I played like the banjo, and we had washtub bass, stuff like that, fiddle.
Yeah.
And then Liam, we've really only just played together like around the campfire. So I brought him out of the campfire and out of the frying pan, yeah, into the fire. So, yeah, does that answer?
Yeah. So, it seems like you've had kind of a few like bands in the past. So, what exactly has made you decide to be BIM now? What's the story behind BIM, Tyler?
Yeah, so I guess I've been writing music for a long time, but never really taking my like own music to like I've played live with my songs, but never like actually took it really seriously or something like this. So after being in that jam band over there, and then I was in another Grateful Dead band, and like I like the music and everything, but like it started to like wear down on me, and I got really tired of like pretending to be some other famous person.
Yeah, I mean, we didn't play a single original in that band. So.
Right, yeah. So I got tired of playing non-original music, and then
being a Bob Weir clone.
being a Bob Weir clone. I was a Bob Weir guy.
He's good at it, by the way.
He's very good at
I got good at it, but all the while I was writing my own music, so I just finally decided to make the record, because it's just something I feel like I've been wanting to do since I picked up the guitar, probably. And the BIM Tyler, really, it became a thing where I was looking up my name, Tyler Griffin. Oops. And there was just
Secrets out.
all these other. There was already like 5 Tyler Griffins on Spotify or whatever. So Bandcamp or and so yeah, it was a split moment thing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it worked out. It
Yeah.
worked out, BIM Tyler.
Yeah,
It's kind of memorable.
right. So nobody has told me that's absolutely horrible, which was probably my last like 100 names. So
Yeah. So in your bio too, you said that you started out more as an instrumentalist as well, and started doing, I guess, more of the writing of the songs a little later on. Can you kind of explain like
Right.
that process?
yeah, so I started with just the acoustic guitar when I was probably like 11 or 12, and I started playing Bob Dylan, but like didn't really want to sing it or something. And then that kind of moved on to experimental guitar tunings. So I would, do open G or open A or whatever, and I would just kind of sit around in the sunlight and just play like these long, or I would learn things too, like Khaki King, different kinds of like instrumental guitar songs, and listening to a lot of instrumental music, like post rock at the time was like pretty big. And yeah, so that happened, and then I guess I started singing more in front of people, and then my biggest struggle was the lyrics writing. It's I feel like I didn't want to put anything out that sounded too like adolescent or something, and so and I'm like, I have to put myself through a ton of life experiences before I can start writing lyrics. So yeah, eventually I got comfortable with that, and I just said forget it.
Yeah, and I think for sure there's a definite difference between, doing songs that somebody else has written versus doing your own stuff. So how has it been, performing and putting yourself out there and now playing your own music instead?
Oh, actually, it's really wild. Yeah, it's tubular. No, it's a wild experience actually. And the other night we were rehearsing or something, and I was just like this is like the first real band that I've put together to play music like this, and so it's definitely great. It's new territory, even though it's my own.
He used to play for me. Now I play for him.
Exactly.
And when Tyler and I play together, yeah, I'd say, over half of what we play is original between my songs and his songs. And
Yeah.
then we try to play covers that are very obscure. We're not into
But even just last year, we were like mostly playing your originals and
Right.
few of mine, just very few of mine. Now I've come forward.
right.
Yeah.
As someone who's watched him for 15 years, the quality of his vocal, his singing has grown immensely in the last few years. I mean, it's really amazing
you.
to listen to. Yeah,
Thank you.
it's very cool.
Bro, you're gonna make him cry.
That's okay. That's what this is for.
It's okay. It's radio.
It's okay to be emotional
No.
on radio. Well, with that being said, how about we hear some more of your wonderful voice? What do you think for
Yeah,
us?
I'd love to sing it to you. So this one's called Dead Man, and it comes off as a long song. And how's...
In my dream I saw you coming. Someone told me I'd meet you here. Well, I was way down in a canyon, or somewhere in the islands, watching a lantern on a ship that sailed between here and nowhere. So are you a cowboy or are you a dead man? 'Cause I would like to be both. We both made our way across this sand. Now we know how the world will end. I had the better part of a day, and I let my angels shine down again. I would like to ride horses with you in the mountains, in the desert, on a beach by the moon. So if this is where we meet, I'll be glad to not go it alone ever again. Lightning flashes on a pale blue night and illuminates your face. Will you tell me the name of you? 'Cause I'm alone in this place. Did you say your name was Diamond Joe? Or the gray fox of the mine? There's just one thing that I'd like to know. Does the world not end in fire? you a ghost? 'Cause I would like to be both. And are the seven seas a match for me? North and south, coast to coast. I had a change of heart in a day, and I let my angel shine down again. Oh, oh, I would like to sail oceans with you, or the seaside and the infinite, by the stars and the moon. So if this is where we meet, I'd be glad to not go it alone ever again. I'd be glad to not go it alone ever again. I'd be glad to not go it alone ever again. I'll be glad to not go it alone ever again. So if this is where we meet, I'll be glad to not go it alone ever again. I'll be glad to not go it alone ever again. I'll be glad to not go it alone ever again. I'll be glad to not go it alone ever again.
That was Dead Man by Bim Tyler. So, obviously, you write all of your music originally on guitar. So, how does it work for you to include other instrumentation in? Do you hear that while you're writing, or is it something that you kind of reach out to other people for?
Yeah, definitely. I kind of have the whole shebang in my head, and recorded that all the music on the record is all me. So I played. Yeah, I do think of other instruments while I'm writing, but and I'm open to other people adding their touch too.
Yeah, I'm normally a guitar player, so I just take his bass lines and make them more annoying.
So, the recording process, you record everything yourself.
Yeah, that's just because out of lack of.
They're expensive.
Yeah, so it was like a quarantine album kind of thing.
Right, it was recorded during the pandemic, so
It was a bedroom record. I would have gone to a studio or something if I had the opportunity, and it is a pain in the neck to record everything myself. So hence the lack of drums in this album, because I can do it, but it just sounds so backyard, and so yeah.
Yeah.
It's not a bad drum.
Well, there's so much that you can do now, I feel, with like digital music and digital technology, recording
Right.
yourself. And I know a lot of artists have said too, during COVID, it was kind of a time for them to really sit down and get those projects done, which it seems like for you, it was kind of an evolutionary moment.
Yeah, I had all this time with myself, and and I also had a tin flute. So, and also I was like reaching out to people on Instagram, some artists, and they were kind of giving me like good feedback or good vibes, and I was just like, all right, I'm doing it. It's happening. And but for my next record, I hope to. I have demos recorded, and I just send them to everyone that's going to be playing on the record, and so that everyone gets an idea of what it sounds like, and then we go into the studio, and everybody would do their part, so I wouldn't have to take 10 years to make one song.
Gotcha. Yeah. Any like future ideas or aspirations for the next album that you want to
Yeah.
spill?
Yeah, so it's definitely a lot different than this kind of.
It's a good segue to the next song.
Yeah, well, the next song is going to be on the next record, and it's kind of like the acoustic version, really. But I will be playing with. Oh, that's funny. There we are. So I will be playing electric guitar more with a drummer, possibly another electric guitar. So it is it's a much more lively, like, electric sound. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And so when you record, obviously when you had done everything yourself, you played all of the instruments live, or did you use more of like digital certain
Yeah.
hits or certain sounds?
Yeah, I did everything live, right into the microphone, one take after the other. Yeah.
Yeah, so you obviously play a bunch more instruments. What all do you play?
I play a lot of strings, so I play the guitar, the bass, I do a little bit of mandolin. I play the fiddle, and the banjo is like my 3 strings. Drums, harmonica, tin flute. Tin flute I just learned. The fiddle is a battle. It's a lot of learning. And then I also have this other side of me that wants to like be good at making like experimental computer music. So I tried to like sit down and learn that during the pandemic, and I like signed up for this like class, and I fell behind pretty quickly. But I'm into it. I have like a little MIDI keyboard and some I was using Reactor, the program. So.
And at the same time, during the summer, last summer, we had an old time band. Basically, we were playing old time music, and before about May, we decided we could practice in my barn, which is open air, and it's a great spot. And but while we were still sort of separated, Tyler decided he was going to learn how to play the banjo. So when he showed up in May, he was a very proficient clawhammer banjo player. And
Yes.
it was kind of blew everybody's mind, and we had a great time playing old time music, and people would come to our house and with picnics and sit on the hillside and listen to us practice. And
Yeah, so I had fiddled around with the banjo, and for like maybe 2 years, like just a couple times, maybe in the summer or something, or when it was around, and then I got one, and then I was playing it and playing with Ro, and then I was like, you know what, I'm like pretending to play this, you know that, right? He's like, no. I'm like, I'm gonna go home and learn how to play this, and so I thumbed through a lot of YouTube videos on how to do clawhammer, and took it really slow, and then was able to like pick it up, and then I taught myself. I was determined.
just make up his own tunings. And his
No, I used traditional.
Sometimes,
yeah,
right?
Yeah,
Well, who's not to say you can't be a jack of all trades?
Right.
right.
So is the next album still going to be folk, or are you thinking of taking it in the other direction of experimental?
It does have this kind of more rock-ish element, or like, but it has roots in folk. But it has like guitar solos and things like that. So, and it kind of like strange time signatures too. So, definitely not like folky as much. But I think that the folk stain remains a little bit, even though I am venturing away.
It's sort of the roots of it all,
Yeah.
in a way. I mean,
Folk is the root of everything. That's what we were just saying here earlier.
That's
Yeah, yeah.
Well, with that being said, let's hear one
do this.
from the next album.
Oh yes. This one's called Over the Mountain.
In the night I went outside. In desperation, I'm a fool. I fell asleep inside the garden, and I dreamt all night of you. And resurrection in the morning, stood up on my feet, and there you're laying down beside me now. roll away the sheet. I am waking up with the mountain over my eye. I am waking up with the mountain. I am waking up with the mountain over my eye. I am waking up with the mountain. And in that time returning home, you to yours, not to mine. With all the miles that lay between us now, I still see you when I close my eyes. 'Cause I am waking up with the mountain over my eye. I am waking up with the mountain. I am waking up with the mountain over my eye. I am waking up with the mountain. I am waking up with the mountain over my eye. I am waking up with the mountain. I am waking up with the mountain over my eye. I am waking up with the mountain. With the mountain over my eye, I am waking up with the mountain. I am waking up with the mountain over my eye. I am waking up with the mountain.
I didn't catch the name of that one. What song was that?
Oh, Over the Mountain.
Over the Mountain. There we go. I could have probably guessed it, but I didn't want
Yeah, I thought
didn't want to get it
I
wrong.
thought you were joking at first.
No, Over the Mountain. It was Over the Mountain. There we go. So, one question that I always like to hear a response to is, what is your music writing process? Like, what usually comes to you first? Do you think of lyrics? Do you think of guitar riffs first?
It's definitely the music comes first for me. Although, actually, it's been changing a little bit, so maybe sometimes it is. Usually what I do is yeah.
So it can be a little restricting to like lock yourself into those habits. And
Right.
If you get a good idea, just fucking run with it, you know? Sorry,
Yeah.
can I cuss on here?
But usually I write a song and it's usually like one hook. Like, for instance, that one, it was the chorus. I wrote the chorus, and then I went on and wrote the rest of the song around it. So usually that's what happens is I write like a bridge or a chorus or even like one verse, and then it'll like sit somewhere in my notebook or my voice memos, and then I'll go back and just like finish and flesh all the rest of it out.
Gotcha. So kind of like a certain melody with the lyrics comes to you at once.
Right.
And then you build off of it.
And the heavy lyric writing happens
Yeah.
later on in the process usually.
So how long does it take you to write one song typically? Does it change for you or?
Yeah, well, each one's different. Like one I was working on, it seemed like for like 6 years, and it kept on kind of changing. And then others I would write in a day and be done with it by the next day. Yeah,
So it varies, yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, I think it can depend on the song and also like your connection to it. For
Right,
sure.
like this record is comprised of 8 or 9 songs that span from like 6 years ago to a month ago, and I just like put them all together, and they just fit. I've probably written hundreds of songs really, and then just trial and error, and these were ones that I guess I kept coming back to and playing, or like feeling like I could play those to people, so I just put them out.
Yeah. So in terms of gigs in the future, are you planning on kind of promoting this new album more? That you're thinking of releasing it soon, I assume, or kind of playing what you've released during the COVID era?
Right. So right now I'm just trying to play what I've released in the COVID era, and we don't have any gigs booked after this. And Ro and I are playing. We're hoping to play at Radio Bean in Zen Barn. That's just a hope if they're listening. I haven't talked.
We
to
are
them
playing
yet.
it. Can we
Of course.
Yeah.
Promote yourself.
Tyler and I Friday night are playing up in Cabot at Harry's Hardware in the Den, which I don't know if you guys have been there, but it's a really cool Vermont-y kind of place. It's a
Yeah,
hardware store with a bar in it, and
Yeah.
they now have an outdoor beer garden. We've little gigs like that just to
Just
sort of
little ones, but
keep us.
I'm hoping to record in the fall.
Yeah.
The new stuff, and I don't know if it's gonna be the whole album or if it's just gonna be like a couple singles or something, but that's my plan.
Yeah. Is the goal for future gigs to kind of be all of you as the full band, or are you thinking of still doing some solo gigs?
So I'm interested in everything and in between, so I could play solo gigs, and but for this run, this is the Bim Tyler 2021 summer fall group, and they might all go, or some of them might stay or something for the next round through, or maybe I'll just keep adding on top of him. And I do have this idea that, I have a drummer I play with, and he's so talented. So I've always thought that I'd have like a drummer and a percussionist, and maybe like some kind of like flute or something. I'd like to have a real big, lively, energetic kind of sound.
Yeah. Yeah. So obviously this new album's also in progress. You're saying in the fall. So we always like to give people, a moment to self-promote even more. So where can we find all of your music? What are some like release dates you're thinking as of right now, if you are?
Yeah, I would say, so I'm on Bandcamp and Apple Music and Spotify and Tidal and YouTube and all those things. You can look Bim Tyler, BIM space TYLER. And the album that I've come out with is called Basic Ritual. And I suppose that's where you will find the next thing, and I hope that it would be in October. I
Perfect.
can say that.
Everybody keep your eyes and ears peeled for October. Well, how about you play us your last song for tonight?
We'd love to. So this is a song for Vermont and Vermonters and cows. And it's called Magic Cow.
There's a magic cow living in the field. She moves in the middle of the night and nothing's going on. She eats all the plants that other cows won't touch. Well, I think it's a magic cow. I feel it in my heart. We cannot teach this magic cow, for she is famous in my mind. In the grass, looking at the stars, and the magic cow appeared between Venus, Moon, and Mars. So I took a walk into that field, and I saw the magic cow standing on one heel. Maybe we should be more like what we see in the field. And can that bring us back to how we were? We've seen so many, but none others compare to the magic cow living in the field, moves in the middle of the night, nothing's going on. There's a magic cow living in the field, moves in the middle of the night, nothing's going on.
That was Bim Tyler playing us out with Magic Cow, and we have a dying question over here from Bob. Does this Magic Cow have a name?
No, I'm sorry.
No?
Whatever you want it.
Well, it is magic, so I think we can think of, whatever we want.
Yeah, I didn't get introduced to her, but I can tell you where she lives if you want to get her number or something.
There you go. Well, it was a pleasure having you all on the show tonight. Thanks
Thank you
so much.
so much.
Thank
This
you
has
very
been a
much for
blast.
having
Thank
us.
Yes, this
Yeah.
has been awesome. This has been Rocket Shop Radio Hour on 105.9 FM, The Radiator, WOMMLP Burlington. This is your host, Abby BK, and good night.
Ooh.